So in this video we're going to be looking at the battery, replacing the battery in this 2011 Giulietta 940. This one's the original. Car's 10 years old just about, and we're still running the original battery on that. It's stop start technology, so it's a heavy duty one on that. I don't have an OBD tool, so when it comes to disconnecting the battery, I'm sure we'll get some faults thrown up. By all accounts we should be looking at some problems with the power steering, I think, as a minimum. They're going to come up as a fault on the dashboard when we get round to that point. By all accounts we should be able to clear those faults by turning the steering wheel all the way to the left and all the way to the right on full lock, opposite lock and back again, and that should, so I'm told, clear our faults from changing the battery. Obviously we could look at getting a jumper battery on there so we never disconnect it and we just keep it live, run them in parallel. I've done that previously on a BMW just fine. I don't have another spare battery on this one. Could maybe make up a couple of jump leads or something like that, but I'm keen to see if this trick of turning the wheel lock to lock works, so that you guys out there can do it confidently yourself if it works. Fingers crossed. So let's have a look at the battery. So we ordered this online the other day. Spoke to quite a few people, so many recommendations for Tainer. So this is what we bought. It come through very quickly, 2 days, something like that. Something I've just noticed though is that it says open outdoors immediately, so I guess we better open it. It only came through yesterday, but carefully let's open it up. What have we got? Nice leaflet. Please read urgent safety notice before unpacking. Okay, we'll come on to that maybe. Lots of packaging, lots of polystyrene. That's nice. And there it is. Okay, we'll get it out and then we'll come back, have a look. Okay, so we've just unwrapped it and we've got a big label on the front telling us to remove the transit plugs immediately. So I've already done that once, but I thought I'd plug them back in just to show you. This little red plug, when I first undid it, we got a little hiss, little pressure, a bit of gas releasing, which is exactly what it says in the leaflet that we looked at. So we've got one on each side, so we're just going to remove them. Throw them to the side, there we go. And obviously we've got the caps that we'll remove before we connect the terminals. Okay, let's look at getting the one out of the car. Okay, so first things first, we've checked the sizes. Important thing to do, make sure that the distance, the battery is the same size basically, so we know it's going to fit in there. We checked that obviously when we ordered it because we didn't want to get the wrong one to arrive. The first thing I'm going to do, just take the cover off here. Just got a couple of clips and they just come off these little points here. We've got, it's a 13 down there and a 10 here. A couple of bits out ready to go. So there, let's disconnect some stuff. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, just to get us a bit more room, I think, is disconnect the main negative terminal. So we've just got the nice clip here, push that down and a little wiggle, slowly up it comes. There we go, and off it comes. So we'll just tuck that to the side, and now we can disconnect our negative. Do we go negative first or positive first? Someone give me a comment in the notes below, I think. So we've got a 10. There we go, nice and loose. So we should now be able to take that off. Little wiggle, off it comes. We just tuck that over to the side. There we go. Now we'll do the positive. I think because it's a little tight, what I might do is just remove the engine cover for this. Bear with me. There we go, that's much easier. Just on the floor there. It just sits on a couple of lugs. Where are we? There and there. Same on the other side. They just pull straight off. No issues with that whatsoever. We know we've got much more room so that we can get to this. You can see the corrosion we've got there. Not surprising, like we said, the original battery, you see it's the Alfa one, and a 10-year-old battery. So now that's loosened off. Let's see if we can remove it. Okay, let's give it a wiggle. Yeah, we're going to need to make sure we clean these terminals up as well. I'll try not to touch too much, but a bit of a wiggle. There we go. It's off. It's quite tight here with the amount of wiring on the loom, but let's get it out, and then I think we're going to need to give that somewhat of a clean. We'll get this one done, we'll get the battery out, and then we'll come back to cleaning. Okay, so we just remove that nut off the clamp, pull it up, fold it up out of the way, put it to the side. Now we can remove it. Okay. There we go, out. I think we'll have a bit of a clear up in there as well, tidy that out, and then we can look at clearing that terminal up. Not particularly nice, and obviously if we leave it there, what it's going to do is start corroding the new battery, and ideally it'd be great if we get another 10 years out of the new one. So let's make sure that's nice and clean. Okay, so that's cleaner. We've given this a good clean up, but in cleaning it up, what I've seen is we've actually got a crack in the clamp, but I'm not going to be able to do anything about that today. But a lot happy with it being a lot cleaner. Just a bit of sandpaper on there, done the job nice and delicately. But yeah, time to get the new on it. A little bit tight, but there we go, and it's in. As it's there, and we'll stick it on top, and we'll tighten that up in a minute. We'll get the clamps on, we'll get them tightened up, we'll get this one tightened up, we'll get this on, obviously this on as well, and then we'll have a look in the car, turn the ignition on, and we'll see what we'll get. Okay, so everything's back together. It's nice and tight. It's nice and tight. The crack that we had in the clamp, we've done it up as tight as we can without compromising anything. It seems to be nice and tight. Certainly, it's not going anywhere. We've got the protective cap back on as well, so that's good. Some of you might have actually noticed that one's broken a little bit just on this side, which is not ideal, but it's one of those things. It's not too bad. So let's go inside the car, turn the key, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're in the car. When I first opened the door and got in, our dash was on, which is good. We've got our clock is flashing, so we're going to need to reset that. I'm guessing we're going to need to reset the radio code as well, so we can look at that. But yeah, power's back on. So key in the ignition. Let's see what I'm doing on camera. Okay, position 1. Looking good. Boot open. Have power steering checked. See handbook. So absolutely, as we said, we might get steering corrector unavailable, see handbook. What else have we got? VDC unavailable, see handbook. Right front door open, well yeah it is. Left rear door open, yep that is as well. Anything else? Bonnet open, yep. Boot open, okay, so that's back to where we are. Great, okay, so we've got all our lights on, here we go. Wow, it's never started that strong for a long time. So we've still got these steering corrector codes, VDC unavailable, check running lights. We know that, that's one of the errors that we had previously. Check stop lights. So, apparently one of the fixes for this, or the fix for this, without having an OBD scanner, is to go lock to lock. So, all the way to the left, all the way to the right, all the way to the left again, and back centre, ignition off, key out, key back in, start up, boot open, right front door open. Maybe I could shut some of these doors, eh? Check running lights, check stop lights, right front door open. Okay, that looks good. So these check stop lights, we know there's issues with the rear wiring loom in the boot, so we'll be looking to resolve that in another video. But one of the other things that I was going to mention was our passenger airbag light. Door shine. If we go into settings over here, we can see in the middle each time we press we can come down. I think if we go up, it's the closest one, or one of the closer ones. Passenger bag, go into it, turn it back on. Are you sure? Yes. And you can see in the top right here that the passenger airbag has gone off. Now we can escape. We'll carry on back up through the buttons, just obviously using our controls here. Exit menu. Okay, so we're going to need to set the time and date. We can do that obviously. That's all done from these buttons again. But yeah, great. Is the radio working? Even the radio works. So, look at that. Fantastic. I'll tell you what we've got that I've never seen before. This little radio sound moving wave there. Never seen that before, but that's great. Okay, we'll shut these doors and check everything's okay. Take it for a test drive. So we've just been out for the test drive. Everything's good, no issues. The DNA system's working perfectly. It's all good. Feels strong. Never felt so strong, to be fair. It's always good to drive this car. Brilliant. Okay, well hopefully you found that useful. Certainly some of the tips that I've been able to give, if anything. If you're happy, then yeah, like and subscribe somewhere down there, I'm sure. And yeah, look out for more videos coming soon.